Well, California has long planned to build a high-speed rail from the Bay Area to Los Angeles, with the goal of transporting people across the state in just under 3 hours. Voters approved funding for the project back in 2008. But tonight, as the project continues to face challenges with costs and timelines, lawmakers are questioning its future. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen takes us to the Central Valley, where high-speed rail construction is currently underway.
We're at the Hanford Viaduct, which is our longest structure actually for the Central Valley. 6,300-foot structure, and it connects into our future high-speed rail Kings Tulare Regional Station.
It's a vision decades in the making. California's controversial high-speed rail project will eventually connect Northern and Southern California and has first brought a new era to the Central Valley. It's where the High-Speed Rail Authority is currently constructing track for the bullet train.
So we started this structure in 2020. This is our longest structure for the Central Valley.
This is the Hanford Viaduct, about an hour south of Fresno. High-speed rail officials have a goal of completing this portion and all of construction in the Central Valley by 2026, because eventually this will be an important part of their test track.
We have to test and do dynamic testing for at least 2 or 3 years before we can start any operations. That's to test for our rolling stock, our track and systems, all of the different maintenance of way facilities that we'll have throughout the valley. All of those things, communications, dispatch, all of the things that you need for an operational train system.
But all of this progress comes with a hefty price tag and plenty of criticism. High-speed rail officials say the entire project from San Francisco to Los Angeles was supposed to be done by 2020 and cost $45 billion. But the estimated completion date to finish just the Central Valley portion is in the early 2030s and is estimated to be between $30 and $33 billion to connect Bakersfield and Merced. Tony Tinoco, High-Speed Rail's Central Valley Deputy Regional Director, tells ABC 10, while there have been difficulties, there is progress.
Out of the number of structures that we've started, more than 50 of those have been completed. We've actually created more than 15,000 construction jobs.
In 2023, Governor Gavin Newsom appointed an Inspector General for the High-Speed Rail Authority. His most recent audits finds the High-Speed Rail has reported the project is unlikely to finish on time and is facing a budget shortfall.
What is your response, to the criticism that the Inspector General has found on the high-speed rail project?
We always look forward to being, partners with the Inspector General. Any other federal and state audits that we've completed, we welcome the opportunity to work with those entities to make sure that we're being transparent.
The project has faced many delays, including lawsuits, while in the process of getting environmentally cleared. In a 2024 business plan report, High-Speed Rail says it has faced 4 lawsuits relating to the California Environmental Quality Act, which has contributed to impacting the cost of the project.
It's been no secret that we don't have all of the funding to build this. We've been trying to build as much as possible and as fast as possible with the limited funding that we do have in hand.
California Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley has been an open critic of the project. He's proposed a bill calling for the federal government to stop funding the project.
California's federal transportation dollars should go where it's really needed, towards improving the quality of our roads, alleviating traffic, making our roads safer, or even for regional rail lines that people actually are riding on and could use a lot of help.
What is the plan if federal funding is cut from the high-speed rail?
Majority of the funding that we have is from the state. Progress is real. There's no doubt that the structures are being built, construction is ongoing, and impacts are being made.
Here's what funding for the high-speed rail project looks like. In a 2025 project update, since 2009, more than $6.8 billion in federal funding has been committed to this project. That makes up 23% of the funds, while the state has committed to $22.5 billion, or 77% of the funds. The High-Speed Rail Authority also gets 25% of its funding from the state's cap-and-trade program, designed to limit emissions by creating a market for tradable emissions credits. That funding varies from year to year and could be on the chopping block in years to come. Democratic Senator Dave Cortese has consistently supported the project and has recently authored SB 545. He says $7 billion needs to be acquired by next summer in order for this project to continue. He's waiting for more information from high-speed rail officials before a decision is made on how to go about securing those funds.
I think it'll prove that the investment's worth it, but it'll also show us that we can close the gap on funding. The state already has many tools that it provides local governments and developers to use, to pay for infrastructure.
Senator Cortese urges Californians to start seeing the project as a stimulus package that will eventually create an economic boost. But the big question remains.
Original plan is from San Francisco to the LA area. When do you think we might see that?
It's all dependent on funding. So it's hard to give a timeline when you don't have all of those dollars in hand.
In Kings County, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC 10.
All right, so Jeannie, I do have a question for you because we know that the High Speed Rail Authority CEO, they spoke at Fresno City College and really had some updates about some of the issues with the project, right?
Yeah, Alex, the authority CEO, Ian Chowdhury, says 119 miles of the rail are under construction, with 50% of that now complete. He did acknowledge the ongoing challenges and setbacks the project has had, especially now that the federal government is threatening to cut off funding. He said the authority is committed to finding additional funds.
77% of the money that is spent on this project came from California taxpayers. We do want to continue to look for opportunities to work with the federal government and continue to secure more funding.
As we mentioned in our reporting, $7 billion needs to be made available by next summer for this project to continue. Republican Senator Tony Strickland, who is also the vice chair of the Senate Transportation Committee, tells me he believes if we do come up with that money, it'll be a waste to spend it on this project.
We'll just keep digging that hole on the high-speed rail and spend $7 billion here, knowing full well, I'm going to go on a limb and say this project, as proposed, will never be built.
And Senator Dave Cortese expects a funding update in next month's Senate Transportation Committee meeting.